Fix the newel post.
Hey Internet, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise, Michigan, Season 2, Episode 25 of our Kids on Bikes campaign. Season 2 being Welcome to Paradise Academy. This is Episode 25, Turn Back the Clock. And in just a couple moments, we will have a little bit of a recap, and we will get into the game. First, a couple of super quick... I'm just going to breeze through these things. Super quick announcements. One, take a look up there above Tomiko. Those are our domain pops. They're a way that you, the audience, can have an impact on the game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, tipping 500. Nope. $5. You can tip $500 if you want. That'll be a whole lot of domain pops, but tipping $5. Cheering 500 bits, all that kind of stuff. You can also support through the Ko-fi link. In fact, you can type !shop. Check out my Ko-fi shop where I'm selling things like skull dice towers, 3D printed and custom painted by me, along with several custom painted miniatures that I've done. Those are all available over there. Check those out. I'm not going to get into the whole thing with the schedule other than to say we are honing in on the last couple episodes of Scribes and Scrolls, just trying to get some things scheduled. And we are tentatively launching a new stream next week, so I suspect we may have to push it 2 weeks. We'll stand by for that, but if it, regardless of whether it launches on Tuesday or in 2 weeks after that, it is a scavenger game brought to us by one of the creators of Scavenger from Shardstone Assembly, none other than Marquise, our good friend, and it will be a game that features 2 players. Our friend Jarl DM, aka Lloyd, and myself. I will be producing and playing in that game, 2-person game. So stay tuned for more announcements on that, as well as when our Monday night game wraps, we will be launching a new Pathfinder 2E adventure on that same time slot on Mondays, the 7 Dooms for Sandpoint. So stay tuned for all of that good stuff. We've got, you can type !audience or !safety tools to get some of the other information that we want you to have. Content warnings for this stream, I think some of the similar ones that these are kids. Everybody's playing kids and teenagers. And you may hear graphic depictions of violence against those kids and teenagers. You may see depictions of abuse, verbal, physical, bullying, substance abuse and use. Those kinds of things may come up. If that's something you're not comfortable with, please feel free to find somewhere else to be. We will not judge you or think any less of you if you do so. You got to take care of yourself. Speaking of taking care of yourself, we like to talk about the importance of mental health here. It is something that is extremely important to us at MTD. That's why we want you to know that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. It's true. If there's any number of reasons you or somebody you know may be struggling or need somebody to talk to, whatever the case may be, we would like you to be able to find the help you need as easily as possible. It is as simple as typing !help. A couple of URLs will pop up, findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. One other thing I will mention, because I think the link just got posted, check out the bingo cards. They're just for fun, but Tomiko puts those together for us, for you, just to find those fun moments that happen in our games. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise, Michigan. I forgot to cue the music player, so when I hit my music cue, I got a big yellow triangle. We're professionals here. Try that again. There we go.
Music when you hit the button.
Like, this is nothing's happening. Okay. So, real quick, in our most recent adventures, Coop and Ann running from the party. They just decided to beat feet and get out of there. In their words, running away. They just started running, and it was stormy.
That was great, Jake. That was a really good impression. It kind of came out of the blue.
They were running in the rain, the purple rain, I might add, and a tremendous crash of lightning, and Coop suddenly realized he was alone. Coop also realized that the ground was slipping away beneath him as he fell into a sinkhole and emerged in an underground cavern atop a pile of what looks like decades worth of junk that has been thrown into the sinkhole, and he can spot a lighted, supported tunnel. Looks like a mining tunnel, not far away. He was, of course, awakened in this state by a gentle hand shaking his shoulder awake. Of course, that hand was the disembodied hand of young Coop. Not too dissimilar to this one perched here.
Oh my god. Jacob, I need to see the hand next to your hand.
Oh yeah, it's
You made it Coop size.
He made it, like
It's
a
a child's hand.
which was really creepy when I was trying to figure out, okay, if this is man-sized, what big does it need? What's that thing do?
What big was Knit even? Real quick, is that also flesh tone?
Yes.
It is.
My granddaughter
Horrifying.
hates it.
Oh my god, no shit. I wonder
I
why.
actually-
why. Yeah.
I mean, there's a photo in, I think, the public.
Pampa has a hand in his office.
Well, it doesn't help that I keep going like this.
Oh, great.
Terrorized
Great. She's
her.
going to have a complex.
You're gonna show her Adam's Family one day, and then
Yeah.
immediately horrified for
Already
the rest of her life.
Creating
So that
hashtag
is.
hand stuff.
I
Hashtag
love the
hand
Addams
stuff.
Family,
There's hashtag
and
hand stuff.
I love Thing. So how can this be a problem?
Great question.
That's hashtag hand stuff right off the bat. That's our where we left Coop. Oak and Billy made their way back to Oak's. Of course, with things having changed, and this is the first time Oak's going to his house since the change with Dr. K and Hines, aka much older Oak. They arrived, went to an apartment above a tavern, went to sleep, woke up in the morning to a just a variety of wonderful breakfast smells. You find Oak's foster father preparing breakfast, a quite lavish breakfast. Oak's foster father revealed to be none other than Algernon Miller. They sat down to enjoy a delicious meal. TJ went home after an early morning run, apologized to Carson for the way he treated him the night before. The Lieutenant Commander Tim Adkins, TJ's dad, came in and congratulated them on a successful diversion so that he could get the files out of the Stapler house safe with the combination that Carson provided. Then told TJ to go get dressed in civilian clothes to go to the lab with him. But the congratulations was a little bit of a ruse, putting a false sense of safety in TJ's mind, which was quickly dashed when his father confronted him and told him how badly he messed up. And when TJ tried to defend himself, his father backhanded him across his face. We ended with seeing that sort of a third-person view, audience view of Lieutenant Commander locking the files away in his gun safe in his office, which also contains in the gun safe pistols, shotguns, crossbows, wooden stakes, a sword, the kind of things you'd use to hunt monsters. Speaking of monsters, probably displayed on his various war memorabilia is a Nazi flag. Rosie and Laz are in Nexus Laboratory, Nexus Project custody. Laz has been secured with a series of ropes and bungees that are designed to prevent him from being able to create kinetic energy and power himself up. But like all teenage boys, he has found a way around any restrictions. And when we last left Laz, he was rubbing one out in the privacy of his cell, trying to build some static electricity. Rosie was visited by a mysterious voice issuing orders that glitched out and then basically told her to comply. Do what they say, wait for your opportunity, pay attention. Then her mother, Sherry Gunnarsson, came in, followed by director Ashley Raven, and through a series of brief questions, Rosie came to the conclusion that she does not have a mother in the traditional sense. And Sherry gave up every pretense of pretending to be Rosie's mother, announcing they were surprised that Rosie was the one to figure this out, revealing that your actual birth mother, in the sense of your surrogate, was your old friend Persephone, who appears to be in custody as well. But also, they revealed to you, Rosie, seemingly they pulled back the curtain and let you see what was going on the other side, telling you that many of you've been deluding yourselves. You've chosen to believe or not to believe certain things. Some of you have chosen to believe lies. Some of you have manufactured your own truths. Some of you are on the boundaries or even don't belong in the Nexus Project. But regardless, you were told that all of you, or rather Rosie was told that all of you were not bought from your parents. Your parents were paid surrogates to raise their property, and you are now a part of the Nexus Project. Something that was founded by Reginald Hawthorne Stapler, Billy Stapler's great-great-grandfather. So many reveals, but perhaps many more mysteries as we open up on an establishing shot of the Paradise Orchards processing facility, locally known as Cherry Pop. We see the facility, we see some of the semis coming and going, and we see the vehicle pull in, the Adkins vehicle pull into the front as TJ and the Lieutenant Commander walk into the building. And TJ, you follow alongside with your father as you move through this facility. You are seeing, as you enter, your father whispers something to the receptionist, and you are given visitors badges that you are told to leave on at all times. You are led through the factory floor, where you see people dressed in white smocks, wearing gloves, face masks, and hairnets, as they run various sorting machines and work the operations that are involved in a cherry processing plant, whether they're sorting cherries or processing for jams and juices and whatever other products are in this facility. You're sort of getting a glimpse of this, and this is a big operation. There are close to 100 people that are working on this floor. Fork trucks move around in the background, and you can hear that sort of the hum and buzz of machinery, as well as the occasional beep 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 of a backing up truck or forklift. But as you're led deeper through the warehouse, those sounds become a little more distant. You are led to a door where you are the person guiding you, the receptionist, looks up at a camera, pauses, then the door buzzes, and she holds the door open as you and your father enter and descend downstairs. You go down about 2 flights of stairs, and then you get in an elevator that you then take. You have no idea how many floors down you go, but you're in that elevator for at least a full minute before the doors open again. Your father begins leading you down through a series of halls. At first, they are indistinct white hallways. Within a couple turns, seemingly at random, you see the first of the sets of green doors with brass handles. There are plaques on the walls next to doors. Some of them are blank, some of them have barcodes and names, usually alphanumeric codes. At a certain point, they start to blend together as you see so many of these. Seemingly at random, your father stops and glances at a door, double checks the plaque, gives a quick knock before entering into the room. You walk into a room, TJ.
Was the knock distinct at all, or just a normal knock?
Just the sort of that
Shaven haircut.
It's a courtesy knock, like
Okay.
to say, "Hey, I'm about to enter." It wasn't a
Okay.
knock waiting for an answer. It wasn't any kind of coded knock that you could tell.
Just give me like half a second. I'm going to turn this fan off. Just a sec.
While our buddy Craig takes half a second, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of great t-shirts like the one Tamiko is wearing, the one I am wearing, the one Jeremy is wearing, and so many more. You can get them on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and all kinds of other great stuff. Teespring.com. Just search Main Domain.
You can't get Jeremy's shirt anymore. It's gone.
Oh my God, it's an exclusive.
Which one? I can hear you now.
Then,
Okay.
So then you better get over there and get all the shirts now before they go out of stock and are
Oh, the
super
ham one.
uber fashionable.
So, the room you enter into with your father, TJ, is darkened. But at the far side of the room is a bluish-green glow. On the far side of the room, from floor to ceiling and about 12 feet wide, is a bank of dozens and dozens and dozens of monitors, each one showing different parts of the facility.
Okay.
There are a couple of individuals that are seated at what looks like a control center. Let me grab there we go. Seated at a control center. One of them is a woman who looks to be probably in her mid to late 30s. She wears a dark colored skirt suit, very professional. Next to her is a man who looks to be in his early 40s. And you see, as you walk in, you can see they both turn to look at you. You can catch a glimpse of their badges. The woman's name is Brenda Haas, and her badge says Nexus Project Security. And
Is that Meredith's mom?
you're not there. The other
No, I'm sorry. That was Carrie.
the other person, the man, you see that his says Chief Security Officer Davis Sinclair. As he turns around, he stands up and shakes your dad's hand and says, he says, Lieutenant Commander, it's good to see you. Miss Raven explained that you, and he kind of glances at you, TJ, would be here today. You needed to, well, I need to show you around the facility a bit, show you, and he glances at the monitors and he just says, well, you know why you're here. And he kind of shifts uncomfortably and looks at you, TJ, and the Lieutenant Commander just says, turns to you and says, stay here until I come back.
Just nod.
And your father leaves with Chief of Security Davis Sinclair. They leave the room, leaving you alone with Brenda Haas, who kind of gives a little bit of a puzzled look, gives you sort of a once-over, and just says, don't touch anything. What would you like to do?
Is she so she's staying?
She's staying, yes.
Okay. So I sit in the other dude's chair. And so, well, if I'm not able to touch anything, why don't you tell me what all these doohickeys do? What are we looking at?
Give me a charm check.
Oh, hold on. What's my? I gotta zip to my charm here.
I like how Jake put charm on the word charm.
Right? Give me
Very
a charm check.
So it would be 6 plus 3, so 9.
You got a 9?
Oh, yeah.
Let me check something real quick to see if this works in this way. You get a +3 to that because of your rebellious nature. You're dealing with
Yeah,
an adult.
that was how I got to 9.
Okay.
Because it was
my
a 6.
word. So I rolled this opposed, and Brenda Haas is rolling a d10 for charm and rolled a 1.
Okay.
So she looks at you and she kind of gives you a little bit of a sideways look, glances over her shoulder, and she goes, are you actually interested?
Otherwise, I'm gonna sit here bored, so I might as well know what I'm looking at, right? I'm like, you're not bored, right? And I'm sure if you know what's going on, it's your chance to tell me what's, what do you know?
You see a smile lights up her face as she goes,
Yeah. Impress the shiz out of me.
okay. Not a lot of people really care about this kind of a thing, but, and she
Security's my
immediately-
jam, dog.
She immediately starts showing you each section of the facility has its own camera. Some facilities, or some sections of the facility, have multiple cameras, and she's
Which one has multiple cameras? Can you give me an example?
she starts to show you how she goes, oh, I can do more than that. She goes, most of these they only require one camera, wide angle lenses, high vantage point. Nonetheless, we can zoom in if I need to. I can zoom in, and she zooms in on a random what looks like a middle-aged man who is sitting alone in a room on a metal chair at a small square table, and he's playing chess, but he's by himself. And he makes a move, and he hits the chess clock. 3 seconds later, one of the other chess pieces moves, and the chess clock stops again.
Oh, what the heck?
And
Who's he playing?
that's not important. But if I need to know how many freckles this man has, and she presses a button, and it just zooms all the way into where you can practically see the
Whoa.
pores on his skin.
I think that's a wart, not a freckle.
She zooms back out, and she says, so then we have, go ahead and roll me a D100.
Now, is this thing like recording? How do you know what he did 10 minutes ago? 85.
I rolled a 76. There was a high enough percentage that this thing that may or may not have happened is going to happen.
Okay.
She says, she kind of looks at you again. She goes, you're what, high school? Probably 10th, 11th grade?
Yeah.
You got computer classes?
I do.
So you've seen
I'm actually, since I'm going into the Coast Guard, I'm going into law enforcement, which is security, which why I'm so interested. So
excellent. So you've seen the
give me the
computer
roles here.
classrooms. Easily between 20 and 30 computers in the classroom, right?
Right.
Imagine a warehouse full of your computer classroom.
Okay.
Instead of 20 or 30 computers, the equivalent of 20 or 30,000 computers.
Oh wow.
We have servers
No
here
Oregon
in
Trail
the
though,
building.
right?
She glances sideways and she hits a
I
button.
died from dysentery just last week.
She hits a button, and one small monitor in the corner right in front of her turns black, and then the green Conestoga wagon with the oxen pulling it appears.
Oh, sweet.
And she says,
Make sure you load up on food.
she says, we have massive servers here that keep track of everything. Everything is stored on tape. The tapes are backed up.
So is this like the VCR? Does it have a pause, rewind, all that?
So much more than that. But check this out. You asked about multiple
Does it have a
cameras.
remote? No good TV doesn't have a remote. You got a remote?
She reaches to the center part of the console where there's like, it almost looks like the controls of the Death Star. And she hits a button, and a whole section about the size of a keyboard lifts out.
Mm-hmm.
Goes, I've got a remote.
Whoa.
She hits a couple buttons, and you see...
So I'm paying attention to what she's pushing while she's doing this.
She hits a couple buttons, and she brings up a series of windows, like the view changes, and now it's screens that you can see. Every 4 screens are representing different areas. She hits another button, and she kind of scans through, and she goes, well, let's go with this one. She hits a button, and all of a sudden, all of the monitors are now being used to display 4 camera angles.
Okay.
And you see an individual in the middle of a room with what look like ropes coming from every corner of the room. This kid looks familiar. Looks like Laz Eccles.
Who's Dr. Octopus there?
For the first couple of angles, when you're looking from the back angle cameras, it looks like he's doing something And then you see the front angles, and you see that he is doing something, but not what it looked like he was doing.
Uh-huh.
And then she just kind of looks at you, completely not affected by this, and she says, "It does not matter what they do or where they do it within these cells. We see everything."
Hmm. So
She says, "Hold on a second." And she gets a little bit of a smirk. And you see her reach over to a part of the console that's got these plastic covers over it. And she taps some numbers into a control panel. And then you see one of those buttons under the plastic light up. She flips the switch and she says, "Sometimes you gotta let them know who's in charge." She presses the button, and Laz, in your cell, through the bungee cords, you are zapped with an electrical jolt, the equivalent of multiple tasers.
Ooh,
Now, this
shit.
woman, because of the charm score that Craig beat her by 8, she's not paying attention to what she's doing. She's only paying attention to somebody's interested in her and not paying attention to special instructions involved in this particular person. So she has just sent you many volts of juice.
Shit.
oh hey, can I try it?
I don't know. I'm not.
Come on,
Really?
you've already told me this much.
She goes, "Hold on a second." And you see her glance up into the corner of the room, and you see that there is a camera in the corner of this room. She tap, hits a couple buttons, and you see the light on that camera goes.
Oh, what a bitch.
She goes, "Go ahead."
All right, so I grab the little whatever joystick and I start going ah, staying alive.
God damn it, you fucker.
I'm like, whoa! Did that like give him all kinds of juice or something?
Laz, roll me a brains check. She goes, "Oh, okay, that's enough."
Oh, wait, one more. Zzz. Okay.
All right.
I got it out of my
Let's see.
system.
All right.
Jesus Christ, it's like the Milgram experiment.
5.
You're not sure, but as you're kind of finished absorbing this surge of energy that's coming to you, the last one came to you in a very rhythmic series of pulses. But it also looked like it looked like a couple of the cameras were in time going. She was okay. That's maybe a little too far. She hits a
Sorry.
button, the camera comes back on. She goes, "All right." I put in, and she hits another button, and that light goes out. And she puts the plastic cover down over top of it. She goes, "All right, I've disabled the disciplinary controls."
So can you disable that anywhere?
Well,
No way. You
it's
don't
more-
have that kind
it's
of.
code
You do not have that kind of control.
It's code based.
There's no way you have that kind of control that you can shut down all of this. There's got to have some protocol that you can't, that even you don't have access.
You're actually correct on that. I can't shut the whole system down. Only the chief security officer can.
Okay.
But
Now, be honest. You know his code, though, don't you? He's probably one of those people that, like, his code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
what is he, some kind of asshole?
You would think he kind of looked a little smug when he left, don't you think? Is he a good boss, or is
I
he
need you
kind
to
of a
roll
douche?
another charm check.
Is he kind of a douche? Be honest. Charm is my Hold on, I gotta look again. I think it's my 6.
Yes, that was an intentional Spaceballs reference.
5 with +3.
She goes, all right. My boss you're talking about.
Sorry.
I don't know when he's going to be back. I've shown you the fun stuff. If you're serious about this, you need to understand that a lot of this is pretty mundane. It involves having sharp eyes and paying attention to what you're doing and knowing what to look for. As she resets everything back to the normal view,
No.
she goes, hold on. Now, you understand the basics of this. Just sit here and watch.
Can I drive?
She goes, she reaches over and she taps a quick series of letters and numbers. I would like you to make a brains check to see if you can catch what she types.
Uh-oh. I'm also rocking the D4. I got a 3.
You don't quite see her code.
I see
well,
part of
actually, hold on. Let me check her brain score to see if she was good enough at concealing it. You got a 10. She goes, "You'll be okay."
So I say, "Are you hiding that from me? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, don't you?"
She goes,
And I kind of smile at her.
I need you to just, you're not going to drive. You're just going to observe. I'll be back in 3 minutes. And
Mhm.
she quickly gets up. She gets up with the speed of somebody who looks like they really need a restroom break and they're taking advantage. As she says, she opens the door. She says, 3 minutes. Just watch. Nothing's gonna happen.
All right, where are you on the camera so I can see where you're at?
Yeah.
Show me which monitor to watch you at.
Nice try. And she closes
No,
the
I'm
door
serious.
behind her. as
I'm
she,
serious.
She closes
Like
the
I
door.
want to be able to, if I'm gonna do this right, I need to be able to track. So
You're talking to a closed door now. She said, nice
Oh,
try,
damn it.
closed the door and left. You are now left alone in the control room. With that, we're going to switch to, we're going to switch our scene. You guys talk too much. I had a list the order of these people way back
And you
there.
put
Next
it in
up
the
is
side chat?
Coop.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. As
That's
the
gotta
door
be a sticky note.
closes and
Oak and Billy.
Oakville, yeah.
as TJ is left alone in the control room, we're gonna cut back to the apartment above the tavern where Billy and Oak have finished and you finished breakfast and maybe helped Algernon clean up a bit, but as he's kind of getting the last of the dishes put away, sealing leftovers in Tupperware and putting them in the fridge, and he starts running water to do the dishes, he goes, "It's Saturday morning. You've got the entire day ahead of yourselves. You don't need to be sitting around in the apartment helping me do dishes and clean up. You're teenage boys. Go out and have some fun."
I give him a little bit of a skeptical look and turn to Oak and say, I should probably head home, check in, get clean clothes, and then we can head on from there.
Yeah, that sounds good. I really, I looks to Billy. I really need to talk to you, and I think it would be great if I also went with you. So I'm gonna get my stuff and I'm gonna head out with you. That sounds like a plan. Okay.
and I'm gonna Oak will make his way to his room, and you hear like a cacophony of sound that is just him throwing things into his backpack and throwing on new clothes that are not pajamas, and then he comes out and he's rocking a Blockbuster shirt that says "Be kind, rewind,"
Nice.
and like just some jeans and much more casual than he usually is adorned. But for right now, he just wants to get something on and get out the door. So you see him have his backpack with all of his things. He's like, okay. He looks to Al, kind of gives a little bit of a wave, and hey, thanks for breakfast. I appreciate it. We'll see you later. And he'll try to make his way out with Billy as
you're
he
heading
humanly
out.
possible.
He just goes, just remember before the street lights come on.
Yeah, of course. Before the street lights come on.
Thanks. I just kind of wave.
As you two leave the apartment, you head down the stairs and out to the side, the alleyway side of Wayne's Tavern. And outside the door,
All right, so
leaning against the side of the building, are both of your bikes.
this town, I don't understand how this happens. I can't tell you the last time I got on the bike, but
Yeah, it's here. Isn't it weird? Things are weird. Also, look, you and I both know that is not my dad. There's no way Billy, there is no way that Algernon is my foster dad. There's no way, man.
did he give me any kind of creepy vibes?
That is entirely up to you to decide if he was creepy to you.
Well, all right, I'm gonna do it. Post. I'm gonna think back to being in the space and spend a pop, and ask, was that a show, or did his emotions seem accurate?
While I find the button here, this is using your
Intuitive.
and one adversity token asks the GM about your surroundings and must answer honestly. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
good
have
job,
to
Ted.
remember. As you're thinking back on the overall interaction, picture it like we're watching the scene from previously with breakfast and everything. We're watching it all again.
Mhm.
But this time we're watching it from your POV.
Right.
And every time that Oak is looking away, has his back turned, or it looks like you're not paying attention, Algernon, you can see that he's watching Oak extremely closely. And there's a couple times when, especially at the end of breakfast, as you were helping to clear the table, where when you thought that or when he was out of eyesight of you and you suddenly came into his line of sight, you're pretty sure that his expression, like he suddenly put up his mask, like suddenly
Okay.
he's all
Alright.
cheerful dad. So there's definitely something there, as if
So-
to emphasize this. From above you, the two of you hear, "Boys." It's Algernon's voice through an open window.
Yeah.
If you're going to be going out on adventures in the town, you're going to want to keep your bellies full. And he holds out 2 brown sacks. And
Aw.
he goes, "Catch," and drops them down to you. Inside are a couple of donuts, some bacon in a sandwich baggie, a couple of pancakes. He's basically packed you leftover breakfast. Yeah. I'm gonna do this just for fun and because it's a game. I want Ted to roll a D100. There is a 1% chance of something really
God, that
creepy
it's rat.
happening.
That would be a 5.
Okay. I rolled the inverse of the nice number. I rolled 96. So there is no rat in your lunch bag.
Oh my god.
Yay! No rat baloney.
So,
Or just a dead rat.
and then just for fun, he kind of looks down at you guys and he goes, "Have fun storming the castle."
Bye.
And then he closes the window, leaving the two of you to whatever it is you're gonna do.
So, and I'll get on the bike and I'll be like, let's get a little ways away and then we'll slow down and talk some more.
I like a good 80s movies, teens
Sounds
riding
good.
bikes, having a conversation while they're riding. Montage, or scene.
Yeah, like
so,
the slow bike riding where they're like
Yeah,
just trying to
the
get to
super
a space
slow-
but also having a conversation.
yeah, for sure.
Well, like, I no offense to Oak, but I imagine, with Billy, being so much taller,
And
so much
also
older and stronger.
also a werewolf like that. Yeah, yeah,
Matters. That
matters. Yeah.
it probably requires a lot less effort on Billy to kind of keep up with whatever level of effort.
That does
For sure.
remind me,
For sure.
Billy, you
Yeah.
are reverted to basic Billy stats
Yeah.
because it is
Basic Billies.
You're
because
just a
it is
basic
it is
Billy now.
post
You're back to wearing
It
leg
is
warmers and
post-
ordering pumpkin
full-
lattes.
I had been playing Basic Billy since we got back, because I assumed we weren't leading up to the moon and I wasn't werewolf, so I was just Billy.
Okay.
So I don't know how much you were paying attention, Oak, but every time it looked like you weren't paying attention, his demeanor changed. It's like he was wearing a mask or a facade. Like, "Oh, hi." There's definitely something going on. We know, every time I mention the word iteration, there's always a look around to see if anybody is paying attention.
Billy.
I've been trying to figure out who is aware of the changes that are made. Heck, even some of the stupid rumors at school, were started because I was eyeing up teachers to find out who's in on all of this crap.
Yeah.
But-
yeah.
In the first iteration, Algernon was an absolute dick.
Yeah, you see, as you're talking, I imagine that we've probably at this point we've probably rode our bikes to a nearby park, and so I'm
Actually,
just gonna
yes, there's the gazebo
Yeah.
park.
Yeah. So I imagine that we would have gone to the nearby park, and
Just lost Tamiko.
I would already have one of my journals out, and immediately going to the notes that I had on iteration 1, because for me and for you, I think Oak and Billy have always been aware of the iteration.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that it's now we get a chance, just the two of us, to kind of sit down and talk about
Sure.
things, there is
Mhm.
this like kind of relief there.
So I don't know. There's always more mystery than we're ever going to be able to solve. And there's things that I want to look into, but before I even have a chance to do it, something else is going on, and something else is going on. We've got the group getting new powers. We've got new players on the field. I don't even know who this other kid is that's all of a sudden kind of like forcing themselves into all these conversations. Do you know who he is?
Dude, if I knew who he was, I mean, it would make a lot more sense. But no, I have no clue. He just showed up at the party and started talking to everybody.
You talk to everybody but me.
Yeah. Also weird that he didn't talk to you.
My house, my party wanted nothing to do with me by the looks.
Didn't introduce himself to you. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
So hear me out, dude. I'm just saying, iteration 1, we were all just getting to know each other. We're friends.
Mm-hmm.
I had a family, you had a family, and he looks down. Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you remember your last name? Say that again. Simpson?
Simpson.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was too. But ever since we started school, you've been a stapler. So like, I don't know. Dude.
Do you know how ridiculous it is to be, to have this name that's not only la-di-da in the frickin' town, but also the same thing that teachers punch every day to join papers together? Not thrilled about this.
12-year-old Oak actually chuckles at that because he's like, that was funny. That was, look, man, I don't know. I mean, in a way, that's kind of cool because you're essentially like a Batman here, right? Like you've become like a superhero. You're a werewolf and you're part of a royal family here. Like, that's kind of cool. But at the same time, like, that's not you either, and I know that. But things are weird, and they are not going to get any better, and whatever Laz did a total recall on everything, man. Like, he just absolutely blasted that Nosferatu dude, and then, like, bing, bang, boom, Rosie and Laz are in a paddy wagon somewhere, and then we're here, and I don't even know where Anne and Coop are.
So I think we can hash this out. I want to get clean clothes. I mean, I've literally, haven't been in my own room, and it feels like forever.
Okay.
But clean clothes, and then we gotta find Coop, find Anne, and make our way to the lab. Even if we just like start checking out the outskirts, find a way to get in and get the two of them out. I mean, you guys all charge in after Jessica and I, and there's like a moment's hesitation, before I, say Jessica, and I don't know how much planning you guys did. I have no idea what that place is like in this iteration versus that iteration, but any intel that you might remember? I don't know if you want point. You know, you can take it if not. I mean, we're the ones that have the brains and the focus here. But I was in no mood to remember anything, getting out of there because everything felt like it was dialed up to 11. It was utterly insane. Why were there military folk guarding kids?
See that, like, Oak, as you're saying all this, and like as you're kind of being, I guess, like on an emotional level, you're opening up to Oak. I think for the first time we've had our own like one-on-one. And Oak just like kind of is just sitting there listening to you, and then you see him get up from the park bench, and he comes over to you and he hugs you. He's like, "Hey, I understand, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's okay that it doesn't make sense, because you're right. You and me, we're gonna make sense of it all, but it's just like a big puzzle, and we just got to put it together. So we'll take pieces from iteration 1, pieces from iteration 2, and we'll start putting them together until everything kind of weaves. But we can definitely show what isn't right, and that, whatever that was, that is not my reality. That is not what I believe in. That is what they want. Whatever they are, that's what they want."
No. As long as you take a deep breath, and I'll do the same thing because I'm getting frazzled with everything as well. We've got the ability to remember what it was like before and piece out the pieces from here. You know how hard it is to have a best friend, but yet feel like there's a barrier between you and that person? It's like, you're playing some kind of game or watching some kind of movie that you feel like, okay, this is legitimate, but it's not. It's just like the first month of school. Every time somebody said stapler, like, I literally cringed. That was related to Darla, who was an adversary to us all throughout the summer.
Yep.
I just it's too much at times. Now I think you're closer to Coop, and I'm obviously closer to Anne. If Coop had to say, where do you think he would take Anne?
Oh, well, if Coop had a say, he would probably go to some place with snacks. In fact, probably to Heinz's old place. Because he liked the Pac-Man. He liked the little Pac-Man play thing. We used to sit and play games on there.
All right, so how about this? We go back to my place, get a change of clothes, get my stuff together. We'll check to see whether they stopped in at Ann's, and then we'll head over to the Pac-Man game and see if that's where Oak went. Sound like a plan?
Okay, yeah. You sure it's gonna be safe to go to your house, dude? Like, I mean, that was basically Monster Palooza in there, and they blew it up like some CIA operative nonsense.
So I can only imagine everybody's cleared out. The enforcement showing up, pun intended, kind of took the thunder out of the party. So I can't imagine anybody hung around, after, well, murder or death took place. Now, story goes the kids were looking to take their parents out, so looks like half the mission is done. But I don't know. I'm not gonna go in and be all, "Hi, Mom," "Hi, Grandma." Like, it's gonna be get in, get out. I can't believe that. Freaking, we had an army of monsters, and we let normies decide to take people away. That didn't sit right with me.
Nope. But we're gonna fix it, okay?
Let's hope.
All right. Let's go to your house. I feel better with you leading the way anyways.
Sure.
I would like both of you to make grit checks. This is a tiered check, so it's not a pass-fail. Also, as a reminder, everybody got 1 gold star at the top of the session.
Thank you for the reminder.
All right, that's going to be a 7 for me.
And a 4 for Oak. As the two of you finish your conversation, and as you are, give me 1 second here. As you are getting back to your bikes and leaving this park, this is the gazebo park. It's sort of in the northwest corner of the downtown area, further, just barely, a couple hundred meters away, is where the entrance to the beach and the lighthouse and all that stuff is. As you are getting back on your bikes, do you remember in the very beginning, I forget which of you it was, but in this iteration, you were on your way to school, I believe somebody was, and at some point you saw Devin Sharp on this very street alongside, somebody saw him in his car. It's in the same location, to the side of what would be the east side of this block that the park's on. And you see a 1981 Dodge Diplomat. It's unmarked.
Oh my god.
But it's definitely looks like the kind of car that is normally all marked up as a police cruiser. And inside you see a thin blonde woman at the wheel and a heavy-set man with dark glasses and a thick mustache in the passenger seat. They are both wearing dark-colored suits, and they are both watching as the two of you leave. And as you start riding your bikes, you sort of pass by where they are. You hear the key turn in the ignition, and the car starts. And for the remainder of this block, this car slowly paces you until you keep going forward to north towards your house, Billy. And then they make the right turn east into town. But as they go by, it's kind of like this. Expressionless, they are both staring the two of you down.
Shit.
I want to give him a smug wave.
Oh my god.
All right. So you're heading to your house. You two ride up. As you give them a smug wave, you ride up the towards the lane that leads to your house. And with that, we are going to cut to as you drive away. The camera's going to follow this this Dodge as these two mysterious figures are driving down the street, and they get a little ways and they head towards to where they just begin to pick up, or where they cross over M22, and we see the car come to a stop on the side of the road, and both the man and the woman look out, and the camera turns and we see that they are looking at the Paradise Orchard processing facility. And that is where we cut to Laz. Laz, you have just absorbed a tremendous amount of electrical energy that was gifted to you from a mysterious benefactor. What would you like to do?
None of that seemed to hurt, right?
No, you straight up absorbed it.
Yeah. So again, now the hairs on like his arms and the back of his neck and stuff are standing up on end. And he's you can feel that electrical charge kind of tingling in between his fingers again. He's like, oh, y'all are in so much fucking trouble. He kind of looks around. He's looking for any kind of like weak point in this like BDSM contraption that he can like shoot a small bolt at to try to cause to fail.
You can see where every one of the bungees is anchored to different points of the where the floor meets the wall or the wall meets the ceiling. There's a total of 8 connections.
Okay. So I guess like just systematically, whichever is the easiest one to kind of like get his little rock hand, like the fingers kind of pointed in the direction of, and he's gonna try to like concentrate as best he can to aim, and then he's gonna let a little zap go.
So the degree of control is going to be high because you are sending a small burst, a small distance away, trying to hit a specific point. So it's going to be a +4 for degree of control. You are untried. You've used your power, but not like this. So that's going to be another +4. So we're at a DC 8. Breaking the rules of the universe. This is not. I'm not going to consider this universe breaking. So no, it's +0 there. The scope is small. So we're at a DC 10. You will use your D6 power tokens to execute this action.
Hey,
how many tokens would you like to spend?
What is the maximum again?
Maximum is 7. The more you use, the more the consequences.
Right.
And you can
7 is what I used whenever I jazzercise the.
Yeah, you can decide. So they do explode like normal dice rolls do, or become lucky breaks.
Oh, okay.
You also can decide after you roll the first one, hey, I need to spend another token. So you don't have to declare, I'm going to spend 3, and then you only need 2. So you spend as many as you need until you would achieve the desired effect. Then you will have the potential consequences.
Heard. Okay. Let's see.
And this is
Okay,
for
so
the
4.
entire act. This is for controlling burst to take out all 8 anchor points.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you
Gotcha.
roll for each one individually.
Another 4. That's 8. 3 is what I was kind of like thinking that I might spend. So we'll go ahead and go to that. Okay, cool. That's 5 is so 13.
You spent 3 power tokens.
C, senor.
Say it again.
I said C, senor.
This is going to cause you some minor mental effects.
Got it.
As you finish out blasting these, go ahead and describe what this looks like, actually. As you use this power in a controlled way like you've never done before. What do we see?
So I think that there's kind of a small arc that kind of like jumps from one finger to the other, and at first it's Laz is like concentrating really hard on like sustaining an arc between his 2 fingers. You know, at first it's just these little jolts that kind of jump from one to the other, and he keeps trying to like increase the power a little bit and a little bit until he can actually maintain like a steady arc between his fingers. And once he finally gets it, it looks kind of like one of those, like a plasma arc, you know, from inside of one of those glass balls that you touched, you know, whenever you were a teenager. And he kind of holds it for as long as he can and kind of concentrates until the brightness of it is strongest kind of in the middle. And then he kind of jolts his hand forward. And as he does so, the arc kind of bends and zaps out almost like a, like the beam from like a proton pack from a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, and as you do that, you see it makes contact, and you see a spark, almost like an arc welder, but it has the opposite effect, that you hear the metal sort of break apart into 2 or 3 pieces, and then that connection drops, and you feel the give, and then you just repeat that action, just blasting around the room. As you sort of hit with the last one, there's a, by the time you hit the last one, all of the hairs on your arms, back of your neck, and your head are standing on end. And for a moment, as you finish out with that last blast, there's the arcs, you see it start going, and it jumps from hand to hand.
Cool.
And then it's as if you grabbed a live wire. This is not an energy source that you can absorb. This is you suddenly catching a feedback, sort of a kickback from this power, and you can smell that ozone in the air. You can taste that sort of metallic taste in your mouth.
Metal.
And for the next roll me a d6.
I got a 5.
So for the next 50 minutes, you have a side effect of synesthesia. Specifically,
this is a mental feedback,
what this
mental
means.
consequence.
Say that again.
This is a mental consequence.
Yes. This means that anytime there are, for the next 50 minutes, for every sound, you can determine how this manifests, but you basically can see sound for the next 50 minutes in a way that's distracting. This mental consequence is going to affect your, anytime you make like a grit check or a brains check or anything like that over the next 50 minutes.
Especially for a musician who smokes weed, that's really going to be.
Oh my god, that's going to mess with him.
So now that you're free of your shackles, what wilt thou do?
Next up, I have to find a Pink Floyd album. That's now become
Ride
priority.
out this storm.
Or
Um,
Metallica, Ride the Lightning.
I'll say this is about the time. Probably one of choice would be the wall.
yes,
Obviously.
Absolutely.
obviously.
Dark Side of the Moon, personal preference, but
Oh man, Dark Side of the Moon. When the song "Money" starts playing, it opens with all of the sounds of the cash register. Laz is tripping the f out.
It's a gas.
I love
It's a
that so
great
many of
album
us
to
know
listen to.
Florida
Totally
Dark.
unrelated. One time I had to call into the radio, like, if you hear the song Money, call in. And I called in and I won like $500 worth of scratch off lottery
Hey.
tickets.
Nice
It was awesome.
hell yeah.
money
And won $4.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna start looking for a point of egress, like how to get the hell out of here.
There's a door. Your room. So once you have all of these bungees disconnected, you're able to essentially remove the harness and straps that were holding you in place, and I would say at this point your assets are all of the bungee straps, the harnesses, and several pieces of what almost look like slag, but pieces of partially melted metal from where you blasted all of the connector points.
So definitely taking the bungee cords. He'll just kind of like grab them up in a bundle if he can. String them around his neck or something to hang down the front of him.
Because of the amount and the size and everything, these aren't like your Ace Hardware bungee cords.
Right.
This is the equivalent of putting probably 40 or 50 pounds of rope on you. These are thick bungee cords, and there's a lot of. You can take. I would say feasibly, you could probably take one or two.
Yeah. 2 sounds like plenty.
Don't let a mountain climber see you rolling your bungee cords like that.
Or a parachutist.
Or an electrician, or anybody where anything is rolled like that. You'll be told.
Okay, you talking bungee cords, or like extension cords?
Extension cords.
Both.
Oh, okay. Bungee cords are what I have.
We're children, Jake. Come on. We don't know.
So what am I looking at with this door? Is there a handle on this side? Is there a visible lock anywhere?
Not
Is
on
it
this
like
side, no.
Keypad? Nothing. So it's just
Nope,
like a flat metal.
It's just the green rectangular door. There isn't even a brass handle on this side.
Oh no. Okay.
Tough.
Is it metal though?
Door? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I haven't seen it open yet, right? I was unconscious whenever
Right.
they brought me in. Okay. I don't know, man. I think he's just gonna. I think he's gonna stand back across the room, and he's gonna, give it a double, jolt,
Pew, 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 pew.
and let it charge up, and then fire it straight at the door.
This is going to be so you used all of the free energy from from the power surge to blast your shackles, which is also going to be one of the songs on the next album.
Blast your shackles.
From Lazarus's next album.
Yes.
Blast your
dude.
shackles. Somebody make a note of that. But once you blast the shackles, the energy you now have that you will dissipate in this blast is going to be what you built up through your self-induced friction. I'm not going to make you roll for this because I would like to. I have a scene in mind as we see the charging up of this power. And as you tell us what it looks like, as the energy is crackling and making the crackling sound, how does your synesthesia process that sound? What do you see?
So I think that it's actually like coming out from like the point of where it's the strongest, and it comes out looking like hand-drawn illustrations of lightning bolts.
Oh, cool.
You know, almost like Scott Pilgrim style, you know,
Yeah.
where it's just like in every direction, like these very like cartoony. And again, it looks like the kind of drawing that you would see with permanent marker on the outside of like a canvas covered school binder.
Like the art
Like it's
style in
that-
Guitar
Yep.
Hero 3.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It looks like the outside of Laz's notebooks.
And-
And it's just all over the place.
So we see that. We see it building up. And then we cut to the hallway. And we just see this long hallway of white with green doors with brass handles on either side. The only sound we hear is the slight buzzing of the fluorescent lights overhead, which then momentarily the fluorescent lights go zzz, ting ting ting, and then suddenly the green door in the, like, not the one closest to camera but the next one away, just
Nice.
blasts across the hallway, slams into the wall, and hits the door on the opposite side. There's arcs of electricity and a few trailing remnants of these illustrated lightning bolts that seem to sort of
Cool.
dissipate as they hit into the hallway.
Cool.
And that's where we're going to cut into Rosie's room, where Rosie, Sherry, and Director Raven are. After they've just dropped this incredible information on you, Rosie, there's suddenly a tremendous crashing sound, and something heavy slams against the door to your room, and the door to the room you are in actually bends inward slightly. Immediately, Director Raven jumps to her feet, and she looks up to one of the cameras. The lights in this room go turn red, and you begin to hear as Ashley looks up at the camera, and you see her kind of do one of these, and then she pulls out that device, that sort of black glass device, and she taps on it a few times, and she kind of moves to the corner, and she actually tries the door and is reaching against the door. She doesn't, like, there's no door handle on the inside, so she's not like trying to open it, but she's like standing next to it, like she's reaching out waiting for the door to open, and there's nothing. What are you doing?
Laz is yelling for Rosie, just if that matters.
And then you hear Laz's voice from the other side of the door, slightly muffled, calling for you.
And Rosie's just like standing there and like trying to make a plan, and so apparently is Rosie able to gather that, like, is Sherry or Ashley trying to open the door?
Ashley's over trying to open the door. Sherry has stood up, and where Ashley is all business, Sherry has that sort of worried, she knows, she has that look of, hey, I know that Ashley's going to take care of this, but she's stood up and taken a few steps forward and has her back to you.
Good. Is there, okay, all of the shit that I broke, is there any like stand or anything that it was on that I can?
Yes, a couple of the medical pieces of equipment were essentially on these like pedestal things with wheels, and you knocked this stuff all over. There's, I would say there's at least one piece of tube steel metal, roughly the same length and weight as an aluminum baseball bat.
Oh, how convenient. So I want to grab that, please. And I want to I want to hit Sherry in the back of the fucking head.
Okay, so this is going to be a contested roll because this is essentially combat. This is going to be for versus her. I didn't actually look that close at this. I wanted to see. Combat is so irregular in this R game in particular.
You're not my mom.
Know yourself behind, taking notes, embracing improv, stat. I know that.
By the way, Irregular Combat also sounds like a great album name.
Dude, fuck. I hope somebody is writing all of these down.
I know somebody is. She's a boss.
Flash, I hope Tamiko's writing all of these down. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No pressure.
She'll write it down later.
That's future
Right.
Chamiko's job.
God bless. That sounds like a tomorrow Tamiko kind of job.
It looks like they might have changed the rules on this one, or minimized it. So we're gonna go with what we know. So this is going to be a. Yeah, this is a contested roll. So you're going to use your fight skill, and it's going to be versus Sherry's brawn.
Okay. Can I change something? As metal as it would fucking be, no pun intended, I don't think Rosie wants to, like, kill her. I don't think Rosie could, like, bring herself to do that, because there's something sentimental still, even though it's weird, and, like, I think she'd probably, like, hit her in the back, or something that would, like, knock her wind out, but not fucking kill her. Because, like, Rosie could kill her. Like, that... Okay.
So here's what I'm going to amend this, because this is kind of falling into snap decision territory.
Okay.
I'm going to say, because this is a contested roll.
Okay.
If you beat Sherry, no pun intended,
Intend your puns, you coward.
by more than by 5 or more, this is a potentially lethal blow.
Okay. Okay.
So
it's my, what am I rolling again?
You are rolling your fight skill,
My
and I'm trying to
fight.
find hers. Okay, here's her stat. It's her brawn. What's your fight skill?
My D10.
You're going to be versing a D8.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm trying to read your expression right now. This is very World Series of Poker. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 pops to that. I want to make it a 7.
You could use your gold star instead of the pops.
I will
Good
use
save.
1 pop and 1 gold star, please.
Gold star gives you 2.
I will use just my gold star, please. Thank you, Ted. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. I forget. I forget
So-
these things.
Ted with the assist.
So I will tell
Thank you,
you, you rolled a D. What was it? D10,
I rolled a D10. I got a 5,
And I
and
rolled
I want
D-
to add 2 to it with my gold
and I
star.
rolled a D8.
Yes,
So you're making it a 7. Okay.
I'm making it a 7. I don't want to kill her. I'm scared.
So you beat her by 2.
Okay, good, perfect. Woo!
Uh,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
you will explain how you attack, and then I will explain how it's mitigated. The harm is mitigated. You're gonna hurt her, only temporary. It's not gonna be lethal, basically. So
So I think
first
okay.
part of the scene is gonna be you narrating what you do to Sherry, and we're gonna move immediately to what you do to Ashley.
I was just gonna say, Rosie's game plan is to kind of, as quickly as she can, pop both of them. So I think like as the lights turn red, Rosie like is like looking all around, and the two women in the room are like frantically going for the door and da. And then right then is where Rosie hears Laz yell. And she kind of like something kind of clicks in Rosie all of a sudden, and she is, because this whole thing is like she doesn't know if the fucking place is collapsing, or so she's scared too, like she doesn't know what's going on. And then as soon as she hears Laz, something changes, and she kind of like notices in this pile of destruction she left earlier this perfect implement, and she grabs it, and you kind of see when she like stands up, there's like a very like Sith moment, like because the lights are red and Rosie's face is just like fucking Kubrick, got that like Kubrick stare a little bit. And I imagine she's far enough behind Sherry that she takes like a couple of like Happy Gilmore steps and just boom right in the fucking like lower back, pretty much as hard as she can. And then like as she's on her way by, she wants to essentially do the same thing to Ashley Raven.
So as you strike Sherry, and you absolutely you just get her with a kidney shot, she goes down, and as she goes down, she defensively goes into this almost, it's very clumsy, but it's like almost like a combat roll as she rolls away from you, and she's kind of ends up on her hands and knees, reaching back, holding her back with her hair down, and then she just kind of flips her hair up as she kind of looks at you, and the look she gives you is one of just complete and utter betrayal. And you keep moving, and this time you're going to roll versus Ashley.
Yeah. Okay, I'll actually use one pop, and I'm going to make that a 5. I'm not going to go any farther beyond that, because like I feel like narratively, again, that look that Sherry gives her is just like enough to kind of be like, give her like a half a second hesitation. So this one doesn't quite have the pepper that the last one did, even though it should, because this bitch has always been a bitch. But it's just Rosie's kind of distracted.
So you're told, you spent what?
I spent 1,
Okay.
and now it is a total of 5 for my roll.
So I'll catch that in just so you can hear it. Then we'll bring these all back, and I'll reset this number to 40. So you have a total of 5 as you come swinging in at Ashley. She rolls a 7, and she has a where'd it go?
So scary.
Anyway, I'm not going to tell you what she has.
Tamiko Jesus in the fucking Twitch chat, dude. I wonder if this will get Rosie expelled.
She
says
has
Tamiko.
something that gives her a +3 to this roll, making it a 10.
Yeah.
So as you come in, let's see. So that's by 5. The finisher. So you come flying in to take a strike at Ashley. And there's this moment, we see where she's holding this device up, and she just sees the reflection of you coming.
Oh, yep.
And almost instinctively, with a speed and grace you would not have expected, she actually takes a sideways step towards you, stepping inside your swing.
Oh.
So as you come in, it's your arm that comes across her back, and as that metal thing comes around the front with her free hand, she grabs it, using the same momentum, and snaps it across your face.
Ooh, fuck.
Breaking your jaw.
Oh man.
See-
And Rosie, as this, okay, I got something good. As Rosie like gets boom, like her ears ring, and she hears that voice that had come over the intercom and said, "Don't take the first chance you get." And she just fucking like falls to the ground in a heap.
You can feel your jaw is loose.
Oh god.
And you feel the pain, but not to the extent you would have expected. It definitely hurt, but not as much as you would have thought. It's as if your ability to heal is also giving you the ability to sort of mitigate the pain somewhat.
Nice. Nice.
And as you drop, I would like to swing back to Laz out in the hallway. You see the door that has been bashed in by your own door. And as you're calling for Rosie, you start to move in one direction and you see through a narrow crack. You can see into this room. And you see Rosie grab this piece of metal, drop Sherry Gunnarsson, and attempt to take out Ashley. And you see Ashley just do a reversal and knock Rosie to the floor, breaking her jaw with this piece of metal. What are you doing, Laz?
He like involuntarily like screams like no, like as loud as he can.
And I got to imagine with the klaxons blaring, there's these like illustrated squiggle lines coming out. And as you scream no, it's sort of like the word like comic book, the word with a big N and just extended O's and exclamation points. And as it goes out, it seems to sort of squeeze in through the crack into the room, and then the letters just start falling around. You see this.
Where you see the word crack when the hit happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just total Scott Pilgrim comic book.
Mm-hmm. All the klaxons, all the images now coming out from them are all like cartoon versions of Laz like screaming no.
Oh wow.
I would like to swing, since you're essentially in the same location. Just you're not going to get a chance to really react a whole lot to this, TJ.
Yeah.
But TJ, you're seeing all of this happen. You've seen, in fact, the alarms are going off in here. You've seen the cameras go out in several of the rooms, but you watched. You could see on camera as Laz blasted away at the shackles, made his exit. You saw all of that, and you see Laz in the hallway. But from there, we're actually going to cut to a completely different scene. As all hell is breaking loose in the processing plant, we are going to cut to underground. At the base of the pile of debris and appliances and vehicles and everything else, there's, I imagine, probably an old washer and dryer that have been turned on their sides, have become a makeshift workbench for you, Coop, as your hand is sort of eagerly moving back and forth across the surface. What items, Coop, have you managed to find that useful of everything, and what are you doing as you examine these items?
Well, Jake, I'm just a muddy little man down here at the bottom of the hole. And what is it? And I have gone to the washer dryer and taken stock of what I have, which is nothing. So Coop expressed to his hand, like he's like, oh man, we're on our own. We're gonna have to find some stuff to get out of here. I don't even have my backpack. And Coop starts digging through stuff to try to find things, and he's setting all of these items that he thinks might be useful on top of the thing. And what he ends up finding, Jacob, let me get my character sheet up here. Coop finds, here we go, sinkhole stuff. Coop finds a metal Zippo. The metal Zippo has some heft to it, so it seems to be pretty full. And oddly, it's engraved with the initials OW. Another thing that he found was a Swiss Army knife. Always good to have a Swiss Army knife. The toothpick is missing, but it always is from the Swiss Army knife. Let's be honest. He's found a pack of bungee cords, Laz, but they're not industrial bungees like Laz had. They are like dollar store pack of 5 freaking bungees that are questionable at best. And Coop's looking around. He's like, I don't know what else there could be. And his hand taps him and hands him a crowbar.
Oh, nice.
This is hefty. Okay, good going.
After the hand hands you a crowbar,
I mean, what else would he do
the
with
hand
it?
scuttles off, and you see by now it's sort of becoming comfortable, and you're getting used to its movements. The hand scuttles, and it gets to the edge of this makeshift workbench, and you just see it go and hits the ground and goes over, and it goes over to an area where you had previously, as you were going through stuff, you had sort of created a discard pile of maybe this stuff will be useful, and then you find out it's just total crap. Like, I imagine you found some kind of utility, like army surplus utility belt thing, but the webbing was all rotted and the buckle was rusted, and you're like, oh, that's not gonna work. So it's just a bunch of stuff like that. And there was a moldy old box that had practically fallen apart that you had thrown to the side, and it's at this box that the hand is kind of pulling at this sort of mildewy wet cardboard, and it grabs hold of something and kind of tries as hard as it can to pull this out. And you see, after a moment, it can only manage to move it about, a couple inches, but what it's revealed stands out against the dirt and grime as you see some kind of cellophane wrapped white box. You can see the end of it. Looks like it's probably about this big, so probably about 4 or 5 inches thick and maybe 7-8 inches across.
What you got there, little buddy?
It kind of moves off to the side, and it just goes.
Is it a brick of cocaine?
No, it is. It looks like
things are going to get real interesting real quick.
It looks like it is a. From the side, you can see it just looks like a white box.
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I had anything similar around here. I don't, because this is make believe.
You've seen Cocaine Bear. Now go to the theaters and see Cocaine Coop.
Cocaine Hand. But how? How did it even?
Who could say? Who could say how anything works?
It just
here?
flicks cocaine up onto the bloody stump of the wrist,
like rubbing it on its cuticles.
You're just going. Do you go over women's sampler?
Yeah, I go over to see what the hell Hand's trying to drag out.
You can definitely
Hand
see
Solo.
that there's a larger.
That's his name now.
A larger box there. Pulling it loose, you can see that this box is a good foot long at least. It's fully sealed in plastic. And the only marking is that this white box is embossed with the Nintendo logo.
Oh, fancy.
Oh my god, it's the first Switch.
Coop's gonna drag the box over to his workbench.
You don't have to drag it. You can pick it up. It's a foot
Yeah.
long.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like this.
It's a shoebox.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna take the box over to his workbench and use his newly acquired Swiss Army knife to get the little scissor snips out and bust open that cellophane. What's in the box? What's in the box?
So you loose it from its cellophane wrappings, and you can see that this box has like a board game. The whole top part just lifts off.
Oh.
Opening it up, you see inside what you have probably seen. I imagine you've seen advertisements. This thing was in magazines. It was in television commercials. It was hit with the slogan, "Now you're playing with power."
The Power Glove!
The glove!
This looks like the mixture of... It looks like somebody took a keyboard and a Nintendo controller and a fingerless glove and a gauntlet, and they married it all together. But this one is not gray and black. This one is almost entirely... so, like, all of the glove components, the fingerless glove and the sort of almost armor-looking finger protectors and the part that goes on the wrist, is all black. The controls themselves are this, like, glossy white color with gold buttons. This looks like a special edition or a prototype or something, but this is a Nintendo Power Glove.
Bro, Tato. Amazing. Coop is just floored. He's never seen anything this cool ever. But then his heart falls a little bit. Jake, what hand is it made for?
Oh god. Oh god. No.
It's a right-handed Power Glove.
No!
That is like that episode of The Twilight Zone when the guy breaks his glasses at the end. That is such...
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's actually the first ever episode of The Twilight Zone.
It might be. It might be. Oh.
But can't your hand like ride?
Can I put it on hand like a little harness? Like a little dog coat?
I was gonna say, I think already your hand is probably kind of like nosing around it like a cat that's interested.
It's like a doghouse.
It's kind of like ducking its fingers down. Like, if you want to, you could absolutely. It's a little bit bigger than the amount of hand it's there, if that makes sense. Like the Power Glove would extend further up the arm than what the hand is there. But yeah, you can absolutely put this Power Glove, this special Power Glove, on your severed hand.
Okay, so Coop is going to hold the glove out for Hand Solo to hop into, and so he can get in. But you said that the glove's a little too long for him?
A little bit, but...
I have bungee cords.
What are you gonna do with bungee cords?
I can bungee it at the end so that he's not just
Well, it's
flopping
like-
around.
So before you get to the bungee cord phase, let me tell you what happens. So as you sort of help and Solo climb into this glove, and it gets to a point where you can see it kind of going stretching, and you kind of hold on to it, and it presses against, and then you see the fingers emerge through the fingerless part of the glove, and it just kind of the hand kind of lifts up and goes like this.
All Thanos.
And then for a moment the hand sits there and kind of drums its fingers. And then the hand kind of stands up, this power glove, the wrist part sort of hanging behind it now, and it crawls toward you, and it goes to your prosthetic hand, and it actually climbs up your prosthetic arm and starts pulling at the harness of your prosthetic arm with an urgency. It's like tugging, but it has no leverage, and it kind of moves to different points, and it moves across your shoulders to the other side where it goes around, and it's like pulling at the little straps and stuff, and then it
What are you trying to say, boy?
climbs down and kind of looks with frustration, and it backs
Jimmy
itself
down the well?
towards your prosthetic, but then kind of turns around with this sort of like agitated and just
Do you want me to take my hook off?
before you say that, it's just sort of standing there, just like one finger going tap 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 tap, and when you say that, it goes
Okay, hold on. And Coop unhooks his contraption. He's just got his little stumpy.
okay. So you've taken it off, and the hand kind of crawls over and just kind of nudges the prosthetic out of the way, and then it kind of sits there for a moment facing you, and then it slowly turns around and kind of presents the back end. I feel like there's a better way I could have said that. Kind of like a cat. It's like a cat in heat.
The wrist.
Okay, fade to black. We come back, and the glove is now on Coop's
So we're
hand.
not- I appreciate that, but we're not going to fade to black. There's nothing sensual about this, but there's a reason we're not going to fade to black. Because as you... Maybe we should have selected this faded to black. Let's say, as you slip your wrist into this, you feel an electrical... like touching a low voltage electrical fence. You can feel like nerves starting to fire. Lights begin to light up on the power glove, and it becomes less Nintendo like with the white and black and gold, and with the lights that begin to light up, it's that sort of almost neon blue, electric blue. It's very Tron like as it lights up, and you see the lights sort of going and kind of going up the wrist. You feel another jolt, and you see where the gauntlet of the power glove kind of ends here. You see on your arm traces of that blue light extend about 3 or 4 inches on the outer parts of your arm and through here, and it looks like circuit patterns. They take sharp angles, very, like I said, very Tron like. And there is this moment where the hand kind of is moving independently, and then the fingertips, under the fingernails, you see a little bit of that electric blue light, and you have full control and functionality of your right hand.
Oh my god.
I'm a cyborg.
Not to mention, you have controls. There's a thing on the back of the wrist that looks like it has light sensors. It connects through it's like that kind of like, almost like tubing that connects to the wrist thing, which has elements that have like the D-pad, the B and the A button, select, start, but there's like several other buttons, and there's a full QWERTY keyboard, but very small on here. This is very much a special edition, Paradise edition, if you will, of the Nintendo Power Glove.
Oak is gonna freak out when he sees you.
And if you were talking to your hand, there's no response from it.
Oh, my friend.
Your hand is just your hand now. At least for the time being, it seems that way. I would like... Oh, that's enough. I would like to know what you're going to do now. You have your items. You have your special item. For those wondering, last week, Tomiko rolled to determine how many items she would be able to find in the heap. 1d6 minus 1, you rolled or 1d6 plus 1, whatever it was. You found that many items, you found 4, and then rolled a d4 and got a 1, and that was me giving you a special item. For those that don't know, which would be everybody, I don't know why I said that way. This item was actually from the roll table, because when I was thinking of what it could be, I was looking at 80s gadgets, and I was like, wait, I think I have one of these on the roll table, so I stole something from the roll table.
Badass. Cool.
This was actually something I created as well for the roll table, so I feel fine stealing it.
Nice.
So, Coop, with your newfound abilities, or not abilities, your new old hand, your old new hand, your power glove, your crowbar, your Zippo, your Swiss Army knife, and your bag of half a pack of bungees. What would you like to do?
Well, Coop's gonna have to try to shove the bungees into his pocket along with the Swiss Army knife and the Zippo. He's gonna carry the crowbar, and then he's going to, I guess, sling his old prosthetic over his shoulder, because, I mean, you don't just leave that shit behind. It's expensive.
No, of course not.
Oh no, your mom would kill you.
Yeah. So, what is it? He kind of takes a look around, goes, well, there's only one way out of here. Better get going. And then he walks with a purpose towards the mining tunnel shaft.
Okay. So you head into the mining tunnel, and that's exactly what it looks like. As soon as you get there, it looks like a tunnel that every 10 feet or so is reinforced with heavy timbers. There's wires running along with these low wattage incandescent bulbs, and as you step in, you can see where it kind of angles a little bit away. You are not entirely sure what direction it is, though, because you're underground and you fell unconscious when you fell through the hole, so you really don't know what direction you're heading. But
right now, the tunnel's only going in one direction, so that solves that problem for now.
So as you begin moving through the tunnels, I would like you to make me a brains check.
Fantastic. Just a reminder to everyone, that's my D4.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Yeah.
So when you get a 3, we shouldn't be too pissed off.
Ooh, I exploded
Hey!
and got a 6. I got a 6, man. It's a D4.
You know
That's
what?
fine.
Good for
It's
you.
not
was-
huge numbers.
This was meant to be a tiered check. As you are moving, and I'm actually going to bump your 6 up a little bit. I'm going to give you essentially a +2.
Oh, I was about to say, I can use my star.
Oh, there you go.
Use
That'll
the
give you a
star.
+4 because I'm still giving you the +2.
Ooh.
Hey,
So
mazel.
you know, as you're walking through this for a little bit, for a few minutes anyway, you're just going down this straight tunnel, and then you notice after a few minutes you notice a side tunnel, and that side tunnel will go for a little ways, and then it kind of opens up into a chamber that looks, dead ends after about 50 feet, but everything seems to be coated in this white residue, this sort of grayish white residue. And you remember reading
Asbestos.
remember reading about this, that parts of Michigan and this region of Michigan have gypsum mines underground.
Oh,
In fact, the town where I work, Grand Rapids, has a whole network of gypsum mine tunnels underneath it.
Every Michigan kid has gone to the gypsum mines on a field
And,
trip at least once.
And there's places, I think they use it for parts of it for cold storage or for temperature control storage for documents and things like that. But you, especially being a rock kid, being a rock nerd, gypsum, this is what wallboard is made from. And whatever other uses that you might know that I don't. But you know that you have stumbled into some old gypsum mines. The gypsum mines were pretty much depleted in the 70s in this area. But apparently there's power down here and the tunnels are in pretty decent shape. You find a few of these side tunnels. You get to a point though.
Whenever Coop gets to a new opening, he takes out his little pocket knife and scratches on it so he knows which way he went. He watched Labyrinth. He's no dummy.
That's awesome. That's so smart.
And then you get to a point after about 5-10 minutes. You reach a point where there's a junction. The tunnel looks like it continues on to the left, continues on to the right, and it continues on straight ahead.
Oh, beans.
You can see sort of in this junction, it's not just an intersection of these pathways. You can see that it's sort of opened up a little extra wide so that it's probably like a good 15 feet square. Where these tunnels are probably about 10 feet, so it's a little bit bigger. And you can see on the sides there's an old crate. There's some old rusted, partially rotted wood, like mining picks and shovels. Roll me a D100.
D100. 35.
There is a perched on a spike that has been pounded into the wall here is a hard hat, and you can see on the back side of it is a what looks like a battery pack and a twisty wire that leads around to the front where there is a lantern.
Oh my god.
A miner's helmet.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing. Coop's snagging that, putting it on his dome. He's not turning on the light yet because it's still lit here.
There is still light there. I would like you.
Does it say Jake the Miner on it? Oh God.
I would like. Don't be stealing my jokes. I would like you to roll me a grit check. I need a grit check from you.
Okay. Grit is a D8. That is a 6.
As you reach out for this helmet and pick it up, as you're holding it in your hands, some of the blue lights illuminate on the power glove.
Oh.
And the light on the helmet illuminates. And you see some traces of blue circuitry come out of the power glove, those little like sensors on the end, and they hit the wires of this, and they kind of, and when they hit the battery pack, you see them kind of spread out and around, so that there's a little bit of this new electrical circuitry. And the blue Tron markings on your arm extend another inch.
Ooh. I don't know if this is good or bad, but it's cool.
Cool.
Did
Awesome.
did the when you rolled your grit check, what was your grit die?
8.
And you rolled a 6. Okay, so it didn't explode. Okay, just trying to figure something out. Okay. New helmet perched on your head. Which direction are you going?
Coop literally says that out loud. Like, which way should I go? Straight down the middle, off to the side. When Coop is looking at these tunnels, do any of them seem to be particularly on an incline or on a decline?
Good question.
They seem to all be at the same level.
Well, he's going to go to the left because left's not right.
All right, I have to think about going. Okay.
It's like choose your own adventure, man. Like,
Yeah,
oh god,
it is.
did I make
You're
the right
leaving
is.
your
choice?
hand in that last page, by God.
So as you make your decision and you begin walking down the tunnel, you are walking this way for a little ways, and I would like a let's go with the brains check.
That's a 2.
You don't know if you're imagining it, where it could be possibly coming from. You're not even sure you're actually hearing it. But you kind of think very faintly you can hear what almost sounds like when the Enterprise goes into red alert.
That's weird.
With that,
That's weird in the mind.
Rico, dude.
with that, we are going to we're going to do some quick scene shifting to kind of get the lay of where everybody is and what they're doing as we close in on the last 15 minutes here. So I'm going to swing us all the way back to the control room in TJ. You've seen everything that's happened up to this point, except you can't see into Rosie's room because the cameras went out.
I am going to go in my bag and pull out my shaving mirror.
Just take
And
a
I'm-
very chill moment for yourself. That's nice.
And I'm gonna face it toward the screen. All the screens. And say where.
As you hold the mirror up to the screens and say where, we see a familiar face almost pressed like against a window
Oh.
as Jessica leans in and says, I don't know. Give me a minute. Hold me up higher. Left, right. Kind of guiding where you're at. And then... Wait. Go back. Right there. And where you are holding your hand, you see on the camera is a room that is completely darkened, except for a single spotlight that shines on what looks like an ordinary full-length mirror.
Enhance.
Hands, obviously. Hands.
And zooming in with the controls you learned from watching Brenda Haas, you zoom in and you can see now the details. This does look relatively like an ordinary mirror. You can see lying on the floor is what looks like some kind of a cloth that may have been covering the mirror at one point. Zoomed in like this.
Look for a number.
Zoomed in like this, you can see that there are some cracks that are spider webbing across the mirror. Zooming the moving the camera around the room, looking for some kind of marking. You ask, "Is that you?" And she says, "No, that's not me. But that's what I mean."
The cracks
The cracks
in the mirror. Is that
no,
you?
No, that's not me. Why would I break the only way?
I don't know. I've never done this before.
Wait. Move the camera back.
Typical
right there.
dumb boyfriend.
And you see where you can see from the light that's reflecting off of the mirror. It's partially illuminating a side of the room, and you can see the plate that's on the back of the green door, the brass plate, and you see 8311 XHT.
All right, I reach in and write that down in my notebook.
You now hear outside the room, there's pounding on the door.
Zoom it back to the way it was.
Let me in! You hear Brenda Haas's voice. Let me in!
Who is it? Sorry.
What a dick.
Sorry. Go over and open the door and go, the phone has been going off like crazy.
What did you do as she pushes past
I didn't
you?
do anything.
She leaves the door open.
I was waiting for you to get back.
She leaves the door open as she pushes past you and starts quickly looking around, pressing buttons. And she's glancing around and she's like, oh, she's cursing under her breath. She's like, Chief Sinclair's gonna have my ass for this. And she seems to be scanning. The door is open if you want to go through it, or you can choose to stay in the room.
No, I'm gonna exit.
You slip through the room as the last thing we see is you heading down the hallway, and the door closes as we see Brenda Haas rapidly trying to figure out what's happening. We are going to jump over to the Hardy Boys as they have reached the Stapler house. And Billy, once you get to the Stapler house and you head inside, was your plan to just head straight up to your room and grab stuff?
I wanted to just basically, get clean clothes, grab my backpack, any other things that I think I might need, and just bail. I wasn't looking to have any conversation. If I get stopped, there's nothing I can do, but was looking to get in and get out.
You find it extremely easy. You don't encounter your mother, your grandmother, or anybody from the night before. The house does appear to have been cleaned up. The little bit you can see moving to go upstairs and go to your room. You're able to gather your stuff and get back outside without ever encountering any of your family or staff.
That seems bizarre, but I'll take it as a sign of good luck. And I'll pop back out to Oak and be like, "It was easier than I thought. Nobody saw me."
Now that you got your stuff, Oak and Billy, where are you going and what are you planning to do?
So the plan was to go to Anne's place to see if she's there. If her and Coop were together, because while we the players know what's going on, the characters have no clue where Oak or Anne are, so we got to try and find them.
Okay, so Jesse's first, then Coop's.
Yes.
Maybe? Okay. All right. And yeah, I think that they'll start heading that way. You could see that like the back of Oak's basket has like his camcorder. He has he gathered everything in that he would possibly need for this.
I have an important question for you.
Yeah.
And there's no subtle way I can ask this question without it being very apparent what I'm going to...
Did you bring tampons for your nosebleeds?
No.
Oh.
Because if anybody would have this, it would be Oak.
Uh-huh.
Does your trike have mirrors on the handlebars?
Oh. 100% for safety.
Yes.
100% for safety.
And he's wearing a reflective belt.
That's what I thought. I did not want to assume.
I am
flag.
Listen. I am damaged goods, sir. I have to be protected at all times. Are you kidding me?
I think we did establish that you have the flexible white antenna
already been
dealy with
the
the
tall,
orange flag on there, and
But
so
Yep.
as you are
Yep.
pedaling alongside Billy and you begin heading back down the lane, knowing that you just need to make a turn and head towards M22 and out towards the Starlight Mobile Park. As you're pedaling along, you keep thinking you see something out of the corner of your eye, and then you glance into one of the side view mirrors, and I imagine they're just those kind that got the little metal arm and that's like the round mirror, and you look in it and you see Jessica looking back at you, and she goes, "Oh, can you hear me?"
Oh, absolutely. Mid like peaceful drive there, like peaceful bike ride there. This dude is swerving. Like you don't like pop up and go, "Hey, by the way, haven't seen you in a while."
I want
No way you're not crashing that bike.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to give you the roll. The roll is going to go to Billy. Billy, you're going to make a flight check
Oh God.
to see, and I'm going to have you, Chad. I'm going to have you roll a brawn check. What color bike do you have?
For Oak has a yellow bike.
Which was the one that didn't have. So what was the benefit?
The yellow bike gives you, it says organized mess. I can pull on a common item out of the back of the back.
Okay.
Of the back.
And then
of the
what's
basket.
your modification?
And then the oh wait, no, that was the
That was your
modification,
basket.
the
Yeah. What
organized
color
mess.
bike is
Yellow.
yellow? So what did it? We gave you something because they forgot to put yellow in here.
I think it was the gold. I think we went with whatever the gold one was.
Okay, so that's you get a +1 to brawn checks.
Oh, okay. Well, that works out perfectly then, right?
Perfect.
Well, not necessarily for Billy.
Plus one for Braun.
Yes.
So roll brawn, add +1 to it.
Okay.
Billy, what color bike do you have?
I thought it was orange. But when I look at it, it's like each time you succeeded a check, an ally of your choice receives 1 adversary token, which we aren't using.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
thought we
use-
modified that.
I'm gonna use my gold star and bump this up because I got a 2 plus
I-
1 would be
I-
3.
Why are you trying to kill Billy, man?
So
Oh,
I
am I
think
bumping it up?
you're barreling into me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
So what did-
then
what-
I want it to be low.
So what
Yeah.
did you get?
I got a 3 overall.
So I need you to roll flight, Billy.
All right.
I use 4
Yeah.
pops.
if this is a flight roll to get out of the way, I will use my gold star. If this is a flight roll to try and catch him and not, whatever, I will probably also use my gold star.
It's
that will bring me
however
up to
you
a
want.
four.
It's however you choose to react. If you get higher than his, what was it, a 3? Then you'll succeed at either
Yeah.
preventing him from crashing or preventing him from crashing into you.
All right. Well, I have a 4, and I would love to have him not get hurt, even if it means
So
I
yeah,
do.
if you spend your gold star to make that a 6, then you can dodge and sort of reach over and grab hold of his handlebar. And I imagine there's this moment as you stop Oak from crashing into you and then going off and crashing into a tree or something. The sudden stop causes Oak to you sort of fall forward and your face is sort of pressed up against that mirror, and from inside the mirror both of you hear, "Ew." And that's where we're gonna cut to Laz and Rosie in the
I call that a
lab.
bingo, Jeremy. I think she's annoyed.
No, well,
Well,
yeah,
is it
the
Anne
E was a
annoyed or
different-
Jessica? Because it's,
True.
I don't know if that, because I think, isn't you a separate bingo space?
Yeah, EU is a separate
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I need a
that's-
Jessica is
Jeremy's
annoyed
being an
with
honest
bingo.
Abe.
You can be said by anybody, though.
True.
Truth.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's Jessica's thing.
Laz and Rosie, you've got just a couple minutes. Rosie, you're on the floor with a broken jaw.
Mhm.
Roll me. Let me rephrase this. You know that you don't know exactly how long, but you have sort of sussed out that the more broken bones you have, the longer it takes for your body to begin to repair them. You also know that when you broke your arm and your ribs after Laz's sudden burst of lightning that sent you flying, you know that your bones started to knit themselves together pretty quickly. You know that you could speed up the healing process, but it's going to require you to push with power tokens if you want to push it forward.
Yeah, I will. So I have to roll what?
They're D6s.
Or I have to just decide.
The DC is going to be you're only trying to fix a broken jaw. So I'm gonna put this at a moderate. So that's a +2. This is untried, so that's gonna be a +4. So that's +6. This isn't universe breaking, so +0. And this is small. +8. You're at a DC 8.
Okay. So I'll use. Is it D6s I get to roll?
Yep. You can start with 1
Yeah.
and see if it explodes.
Start with 1. Here I go. It did not explode, so I'll go 2,
What'd you get on the first one?
3.
Okay. Second one?
I got a 3 again. I'll do 1 more.
So you're at 6?
I'm at 6. It's a DC 8, right?
Yep.
Okay, come on. Fuck me.
It was just a 1.
Yeah.
So
So how many? What's the max?
The
Like
max
what
is
put
7.
Laz in the fucking hospital?
Max
Okay,
is
I'm
7.
doing 1 more.
you're at 4.
So yeah, I got another 1, but I'm there. So
Okay.
4.
Significant physical effects is the consequence. You're going to have a physical consequence on your character sheet. So that's going to be -2 to physical actions. And
Okay.
that's going to be because I think the effect is that the blaring of the alarm, when what happens is as your jaw, you almost do it too quickly. And your jaw, as it knits back together, the last thing it does is pop into place. And it's so jarring, it sends a wave of pain through your head, giving you an instant migraine. The flashing lights and the noises are distracting you and causing you physical pain.
So I imagine like Rosie's making her way to her feet, and then this like click happens, and she kind of like is almost like knocked. So like as she takes that last step to stand up, she is very, very unsteady on her feet.
And you're seeing this happen, Laz, through the crack in the door. You see Rosie get to her feet, and you kind of see this sudden jarring. You see her jaw looks dislocated, and then just kind of snaps into place.
Which sucks.
Somewhere in the distance, you hear, ew.
God damn it! Over the intercom.
Laz looks through this crack, and he's gonna try to get her attention. Rosie.
And I can hear him. I just like look at Laz.
Ashley glances over her shoulder and looks back at you, Rosie.
Rosie, you're a fucking badass. Don't ever forget it.
Your boyfriend come to save you? I don't know why she's suddenly
You need my help.
She suddenly got all street.
What a bitch! No, she's a bitch. She's trying to get me to do something stupid, and Rosie is gonna. So I want to attack this C word. I'm gonna frickin' go after her. As soon as she even fucking mentions Laz, I want to just try to like body tackle her into the fucking wall. I don't know.
Okay. This is gonna be straight.
the
This is
leg.
gonna be straight up.
Get him a body
your
bag!
fight versus her brawn.
Okay.
There we go.
You said it's a -2 for physical things?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
And you've used your gold star, but you do have
I know.
45 domain
That's
pops.
true. You know what? Thank you, Tamiko. Tamiko gifted a whole bunch of subs tonight. I'm actually going to use 5 pops for a total of 5. Because with the -2 and a roll of 2, that was a total of 0.
Riding on the
School year's
pops.
coming. I'm getting those math skills back. You see,
So,
2 minus 2
yeah.
is 0.
You spend 5 pops to make it a 5 versus a D8. Ashley Raven rolled a 4.
Oh my god! Yes, 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 yes.
And she burned her ability to get the +3, so she doesn't get that. So she has a
Mhm.
4. You have narrative control, and I'm going to add a little thing to it. As how do you take out? Not like you don't take out.
No,
Ashley
I don't like
Raven,
take
but
her out. Not like.
If you had
No.
rolled a 9 or higher, you might have taken her out.
Dead. Okay.
But yeah, how do you take her out?
So I imagine like Rosie, like she's more or less standing near this door, right?
She's probably about 3-4 feet away from it, I'd say.
So I think Rosie like goes and like doesn't like tackle her, but like hits her, and so they both kind of go flying up against this wall or door, whatever solid thing they make contact with first. And as they're kind of going that way, Rosie cocks back her fist and wants to just punch her right in the fucking jaw. A jaw for a jaw, motherfucker.
And I'm going to say that as you do that, you the combination of sort of pushing her back and then using your momentum to hit her, she takes the punch. But
Break her glasses.
you pushed her back enough that she's closer to the door than she realized, and the force of your punch sends her head flying, and she slams and head first into the door and sort of bounces off. So there's this sudden and she crumples unconscious to the floor, and a piece of black plastic or black glass square rectangle slides next to your feet. And the door, Laz, you see as this happens, for a moment the door kind of shudders and then goes and disconnects from the latch. The door is now ajar, and you have the mysterious communication device at your feet.
Yeah, Rosie scoops that bitch up and then runs out into the hallway.
Where Laz is
Laz
waiting.
has his hand out. Like, come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, and Rosie's just like, yeah, let's go. And like just starts running.
Laz just says, see, I told you.
And Rosie like has no energy to laugh.
And the two of you just take off charging down the hall. And as you run and the camera doesn't follow, as you disappear down the hall, there's sort of a match dissolve to another long corridor, this time illuminated with incandescent bulbs, as we see Coop with his miner's hat heading down. There's a couple of these little side passages, but they don't lead anywhere, and it's after you've passed about the third or fourth one. Are you still looking, shining a light into these, or
Oh yeah, like I mean, he's trying to find a way out.
so about the third or fourth one, you kind of turn and look inside, and as you shine shine the light of your helmet into this room, you hear the racking of a shotgun, and you are looking down both barrels of a double-barreled shotgun as there is a grizzled, middle-aged, very filthy middle-aged man
Jesus Christ.
with like a scraggly beard. He's got taped glasses that one of the lenses is cracked, wearing bib overalls, and he's wearing a Paradise Mining Company patch on his overalls, and you can see embossed, so it says, like, embossed into the pocket is the word miner, and then above it is Jake.
Yeah.
Whoops. And
Does he look like Jake the boyfriend?
when you get a little closer look, yeah, if Jake the boyfriend let his beard go and didn't take care of himself for what looks like years, and
Oh my god.
as he looks at you, kind of squinting against the miner's light, where in the hell do you think you're going? And that's where we're going to end.
Oh.
Just a child.
Oh my god, you're gonna get kidnapped by a crazy mind person.
You guys have got to get back together again. This moving
It's gonna
these
happen
scenes
eventually.
around.
We're working at it, man.
We got a couple of you back together, but trying to get
I'm
everybody.
gonna point out, last time there was a lab rescue, there were other people helping with the fucking rescue. As it stands, it's just me and my buddy.
Oh, this is too funny. I don't think anybody can see it. Maybe slightly on my camera. I knocked the hand off the stack of books I was on. It fell wrist first, so now what I see is a stack of books here, and this hand just going like this. It's like, help!
Reaching up and out.
It really looks like it's a hand calling out for help. No, so yeah,
Awesome.
a lot happened tonight.
Good shit.
That's
good shit.
a new icon I've not seen before, but thank you For the, I want to make sure I get these on there. For the bits there, and
Yay!
Woo!
Joe.
Thanks, Team Battle Rock.
So yeah,
Ooh, munchy.
kind of moving things around a bit. I wanted to make sure everybody got in the last couple scenes and get the establishment of where everybody is. This was also one of those episodes. It was kind of funny because I was just talking to Craig about this morning when we were walking. How I always name the episodes ahead of time, and 9 times out of 10 they work just fine. This was one of those times where the episode title has absolutely nothing to do with what happened. But that's fine. I might even possibly change the title of the episode when I post it to something a little more appropriate. One of these episodes needs to just be called #hand stuff, to be honest.
I mean, obviously.
But at any
This
That
could
might
be
get
the
flagged.
episode.
That might get flagged on Twitch.
Yeah, it might.
That's true. I don't care about Twitch. YouTube is where they would be like, oh, this is not suitable for advertisers.
That's true. That's true.
The good news is, unless there's something, some other mitigating circumstances, M should be back next week. We can find out where Anne went to. So anyway, I know we went over a little bit. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. A lot of great stuff happened tonight. Another great session. You guys all continue to bring it. Jeremy, I saw in the side chat, you immediately picked up on what I did there with the location of the jealous mirror. And I'm not saying it out loud, just now that I've said it, people might have to go back and go, wait, what did he do? We'll leave that as a little Easter egg for people. But no, thank you everybody. We had a hype train going. We had a bunch of gifts, community subs from Tamiko and Toward 7210. Thank you, Tamiko and Baron. And Purple Swirl gave out a community sub, and G Battle Rock and Carrie with the bits. Did I get everybody? I think I did. Well, and Tamiko. Well, no, was that tonight? No, that was.
What I do?
Yeah, tonight you resubbed for 67 months.
Wow.
67
So many months.
7 months in a row. Which
A lot
means
of months.
we're what, 5 months away from the I can't math, 6-year anniversary of being an affiliate. So anyway, thank you to everybody for the support. Obviously it pays off with the domain pops, but also of course help support the channel. And thank you just to everybody in chat, all the conversations going on, people playing along with the bingo cards. We appreciate all that. If you are lurking quietly in the background or you're watching with us later on the VOD, know that we appreciate you. Before we go, I want to tell you about another awesome stream that is happening tomorrow night on YouTube at Erasmus Expeditions. Check out, one of you mods can drop a link in the chat to Jeremy's channel. Jeremy, I don't know why I'm talking. Tell us what is happening tomorrow night.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, over on the Erasmus Expeditions tomorrow night, starting at 7:30 p.m. Central, will be part 2 of the Dune 2-part trilogy that we're running. It started off as a 2-part. Looks like it might turn into a 3-part, but yeah, it's the Expedition engine, the newest version called Coin and Courage that I made. I'm using it to run a short little Dune story. We had a lot of fun last week when we played the first session, so I'm looking forward to the second one tomorrow. So
yeah, a great
by.
group of players. Purple Swirl, who's in the chat, is going to be there.
Chad's playing.
Zach, yeah, Chad's playing. Zach, son of MTD, heir to the MTD empire, as he likes to say.
Sarah, Nathan,
yeah, it's a great group of players, and
yeah, great group.
and I know Zach was the second you guys got off the stream afterwards. Zach immediately came out and was telling me about highlights and stuff. And
That's
so Zach,
cool.
I know Zach was a late ad. He was super excited when you asked him, and that
So glad he said
was
yes.
available to be able to play. So he's glad he said yes too. I don't know. Did he tell you how his character got his name?
No.
His character's name is Brooks
Landover.
Landover.
Mm-hmm.
The book is A Princess of Landover by Terry Brooks. It's one of the Terry Brooks
nice.
Landover
Okay.
series.
Oh, that's a great
He
idea.
was asking me for good Dune names,
Amazing.
and I'm like, Brooks Landover. That's like a good name. So, so definitely tune in tomorrow night, or if you happen to be catching this on VOD, you can of course head over to Rasmus Expeditions, and you can catch the VODs of those games over there, as well as there's just you can't miss checking out Jeremy's videos. I mean, whether it's the various podcast episodes that are up there, amazing interviews, and just some amazing games that I've been fortunate to be a part of, and several others have been a part of.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
And keep your eye out in the Discord because Jeremy does put out looking for games, and Jeremy's also got a couple slots open for some professional game design and DM stuff as well.
I do. Yep.
So,
with also heads
Yeah?
up. Speaking of which, I'll be running a one shot. Haven't decided on the system yet. Might be Kids on Bikes. Might be Badge Quest. Not sure. For October. And all I'm gonna say is it's based on a typo that my wife made, and it's going to be called Campfires.
Oh my
that's
God.
awesome.
Like vampires, but campfires. Oh my God.
So, yeah,
Fucking awesome.
check that out. With that, I lost track of where I was. I'm like, hey, we're already over by like 15 minutes. I want to be respectful of everybody's time, so I'm going to talk for another 10 minutes. So with that, I'm going to say a final thank you, as always, to these amazing friends and players who I am so happy to share the virtual game table with. I love every one of you, and am honored to list you among my friends and get to share this game table with you. So thank you, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, Craig, and even though they weren't with us tonight, they were definitely with us in spirit and in mirrors. Without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want.
Keep your hands off of mine.